Coach here today, coming to you with a little piece on motivation. Motivation and achievement. Sometimes in today's modern world, we can get lost in a lot of the distractions that are out there. The social media, things that we want to chase that get us distracted from our goals. It kind of brings me back to an important point. We haven't talked a lot about goals this season. I wonder how many of you actually have a goal, or multiple goals in mind for that matter. Goals have always been very important to me. They've set the bar for achievement, they've given me direction, they've given me a purpose in life and something to work towards. They've given me a reason to go to bed at a certain hour and get up at a certain hour and push through on days when I didn't necessarily want to do those things. So I wonder, how many of you actually have goals? And do you know the steps to achievement? The steps are honestly fairly simple. There's probably more complicated ones, but for me, I like to think deeply about what it is I want to achieve. What truly is it I want to chase after or go after? The goals are personal to everybody. A lot of my goals were athletic. Other ones later in my life were career. Maybe for you, your goals are school driven or grades or friendships or something else that you want to achieve. Regardless of whatever your goals are, the way that you attain your goals and the way that you chase these things down and achieve them, they're relatively the same. The first thing you have to do is you have to be inspired by something, and you have to decide for yourself if that's a goal that you want to chase after and it's something that you want to achieve, and it's something worthy of your time and effort. Because any goal worth chasing after is worth it. But you have to be committed and you have to put in the time, and you cannot quit on your goal. So for me, the start of any good goal is to have a vision, or to have almost an image in my mind of what it is I want to achieve. Maybe it's finishing a race. Maybe it's qualifying for something. Maybe it's achieving a career position, or getting a grade in a class, or graduating a class. All of these things have come up in my life. And for me, I get a mental picture in my mind of what it would be like standing there, crossing that finish line, earning that diploma, getting a medal put around my neck, showing off to my friends that I achieved something, or my parents, or anybody important in my life, and how good that would feel inside. And I let that really burn inside of me. And I think about how great that would feel. And at that point, I have motivation. And I'm motivated to go out and start the process, whatever it is, toward achieving that goal. Motivation is good, but motivation comes and goes. What truly has gotten me through is discipline. There are many, many days where I wake up or I'm midway through a training session and I just don't want to complete it, or I just don't even want to start. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And this also applies to homework. It applies to many different areas of your life. So again, the discipline is what actually gets you there in the end. The motivation, the mental image you bury in your brain, and you focus on it and you think, yeah, this is definitely something I want to go after. Then you begin building the motivation for it with that mental image, as well as just allowing yourself to feel how great it would be to accomplish that goal. Then becomes the work. And during the work, sometimes things can get difficult and you need motivation to get you through on those days. But when it's not there, the discipline, the commitment to what it is that you told yourself you wanted to achieve and why it was so important is what really, really continues and gets you there. So the discipline for me, I like to write things down as reminders. I also reward myself if I push through on a day that I didn't really want to do something. And that could be for homework for 1 hour, maybe at night, maybe it's 2 hours. You reward yourself with a couple of M&Ms from the refrigerator or the freezer. It's a specialty. I do it, and it's worked for years. Maybe you study for an hour or two at the library during your career, And then you walk outside and you shoot baskets for 15 minutes as a break and go back in and study more. I did that throughout my career as well. But anyway, these are just some key things that I've used during my life that have kind of the pathway that I've used to achievement. And they've really allowed me to get through and accomplish a lot of things in my life and move my life forward and not be so stagnant and wondering what everybody else is doing and chasing things on social media and trying to always make up reasons why other kids or other people are better. And really, it starts with a true belief in yourself. Picking that goal, creating the motivation within yourself, and then having the discipline, finding the discipline to go out there every day and go after it. I just want to give you guys a couple facts just to think about real quick before I leave on this really basic message about this. You know, sometimes I talk to people and I say, well, what is it you want to achieve or what is it you want to do? And they have ideas, they have dreams or something, but they don't really know how. And then I ask them, well, what's keeping you from it? And a lot of times I hear people say, I don't have time. I don't have time. Okay. Well, don't know if you ever thought of it like this, but your body and your mind are shapeable. And what I mean by that is, however you choose to spend your time, that's what your body is going to become built around being good at doing. And same thing with your mind. If no one ever told you or taught you how to read, and you just lived out in the dirt somewhere and wandered around, you would have never become very educated. But over time, you've spent a lot of time reading, you've taken in a lot of information, and you're smarter because of it. Your brain has increased in its capacity of what it knows, its knowledge base, and same can be true for your body. So in cycling, because that's our sport, let's be honest, I ask you, how much do you ride your bike? How much time do you spend cultivating the strength in your legs, the endurance in your legs, your cardiovascular system with your heart, your blood vessels, your lungs, the blood flowing through them? What kind of nutrition do you feed your machine to go out and exercise? Because here's the thing with not having time or not thinking you can achieve something that maybe you see somebody else doing. There's 168 hours in a given week. During those 168 hours, if you sleep on average of 8 hours a night, that's about 56 hours in a week, which leaves you with 112 hours. Now I understand there's other distractions, there's other things. Like for instance, you guys are in school 7 hours a day roughly, which is 5 days a week. That's 35 hours right off the top right there, which that now leaves you with 77 hours left in your week. And let's be honest, everybody's got to eat. And I know everybody doesn't eat breakfast every day, so let's just call it about 2 hours a day you spend eating, which is a lot. That again, that's about 14 hours in a week, which now leaves you with 63 hours after your sleep, your school, your eating, and then maybe you do some homework here and there every so often. And then we already have bicycle practice, a total every week, whether it's 2 days or 3 days. We go between 2.5 and 5 hours total for the week that we're pedaling our bikes. We're actually pedaling a lot less than that. That's just the whole time we're at practice, including signing in, signing out, talking, recovery, waiting. It's really not that much time to be cultivating something like your legs and your cardiovascular system. So what that leaves you at the end is about 58 to 60 hours in a given week for you to choose what you want to do with it. And I know you got family affairs, maybe church, maybe you got somebody's birthday party to go to, maybe even a little bit of computer games, etc. But this gets back to your choice. So if you have a goal and you choose that goal and it's important to you and you have the motivation to do it, and then the discipline isn't there, you might start to use up those minutes or use up those hours. But if you do have the discipline and you're aware of it and you know you have 58 to 60 hours to spare, what do you do with that time? How important is that goal to you? Is it truly important, or is it just something you say you want to do? Because if it's truly important and it's worth the sacrifice. And believe me, it's worth the sacrifice to work on a goal and achieve something amazing. The feeling is amazing, and it carries you through to the next goal, and it carries you through to the next class, and it carries you through to college, and it carries you through to your career, and it carries you through to family and every other thing that you're involved in life. So just so you know, with those 168 total hours in a week, if you're only at bike practice for 2.5 hours, that's 1.5% of your week that you're pedaling on your bicycle. 1.5%. And if you're at practice, if we do it 3 days a week and there's a Saturday practice, it's a total of 3%. 3% of your whole entire week you're spent pedaling. Now think about this for a second. A river, water, can cut through rocks. Now, how does that happen? Is it because the water is hydrodynamically shot out of a jet and boring a hole through a rock? No. It's because the water never stops. The water keeps applying pressure over long periods of time. So if you increase your miles just a little bit, just increase your hours a little bit during the week, and you put in that extra little bit of effort. Maybe you go ride 2 extra days a week, maybe an hour each time. That's 2 extra hours you spend in the week. Do you realize if you spend 2 extra hours in a week, you're doubling your time on the bike compared to when we just ride on Mondays and Wednesdays? It's incredible. The difference at the end of a month, at the end of 5 months, at the end of a race season, at the end of maybe 4 or 5 years with the team. I've seen some pretty incredible changes in riders on our teams over the years. And I have a lot of examples. And they didn't always start out as looking like cyclists or performing like cyclists. They were lots of times did not light the world on fire in their first season. Somewhere along the lines, they decided to make a change. And I'm just curious who out there is interested in making that change. Maybe it's you. The time is up to you. You can choose what you want to do with it. If this motivates you and you choose that to be your goal, I think you know what you could do at the time. And if you need any help, Pumas, reach out to me. I have a number of things that I can help you with, such as a 10-page document that explains everything in here that you need to know about training. Everything about philosophy, nutrition, motivation, zones, if you've heard that word before, perceived exertion, watts, heart rates. It's all in there. And I'll give it to you for free, but this might be the last year I give it out for free. Let me know if you're interested in it. Send me your email. Not here on YouTube, but maybe send it to me direct. Team Snap. All right, Pumas. This is how you achieve something. This is how you go from a goal to achievement. I hope it helps you. It's helped me out my whole entire life. It's been cultivated. I like to share it. Best of luck. See you guys soon.